Welcome to Marriage Monday with Jeremiah and Savannah Jennings. The Jennings own Growing Green Landscapes and are very happily married. In this podcast, Jeremiah and Savannah discuss the wins, losses, good times, bad times, and everything in between pertaining to owning a business while maintaining a healthy marriage along the way. We hope you enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, joined by my co-host today, Savannah Jennings, along for the ride for Marriage Monday, episode number 4. I think this is, right?
Yeah.
Episode number 4. So we are coming home from Together in the Trades, a summit for couples in business that we had in Nashville, Tennessee this weekend. Super fun time getting to hang out there with all of you guys out there that are in the industry that made the trip down. Thanks for coming and hanging out for a little bit. Thank you to the hosts, Brian and Liz, and Caleb and Brittany. They did an awesome job putting on an awesome event. Mm-hmm. And I think what we want to talk about today is we're just going to kind of recap the event a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of run through the highlights of what happened. We're not going to go into everything because, you had to be there for that. You had to be there to see all the good stuff. But it will happen again in 2023, I'm sure. Still trying to find a location. But we're just, like I said, we're just going to run through. We are heading through Birmingham right now, so we are not too far from home. But if you hear background noise, try to keep it down as much as we can. But you got to make the most of these long car rides. So what we wanted to do is just recap the event. And so I guess we can just start off by, Friday night we got there.
Yeah, well, we had the little meet-up scavenger hunt, which was...
It was hot.
It was hot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It was hot. And I don't know how many people actually ended up going
all the way through the scavenger hunt. Yeah.
I know we took a little detour and found some ice cream and did as much as we could. But it was a fun way to kind of meet some people, I think, though, and get out and see a little bit of Nashville before we had the event on Saturday. So no, I think it was a great idea.
Nashville's a crazy place.
Yeah, it is.
If you haven't been in Nashville yet,
let's also preface with where we were staying. So the hotel was like 1 or 2 blocks from Broadway, which if you don't know much about Broadway, it's like their main strip in downtown Nashville.
For.
Yeah, I don't think any of us could keep count of the amount of bachelorette parties that we saw and people that were there
women going through midlife crises
to have a good time.
It was crazy.
So that's the area that we were in, which was fun. There was a lot good places to eat and see and do. So it was a fun time to get out of the hotel a little bit, meet more people, and do some fun stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time getting to hang out. We met up, hung out Friday night, and that was fun. It wouldn't. What?
Oh no, I just think it's pretty low key. Did you meet me there?
Yeah, it was low key. We got there, hang out, and then we went and got some ice cream. So the scavenger hunt thing was really cool. It was like Operation City Quest. I think if you ever go out somewhere, you can do that. I mean, that's not a secret what we did.
Yeah.
You can buy those tickets. They're applicable in any city you go to. And
there's
all
an
kind
app.
of versions.
Yeah, I mean, you bought it online and downloaded it.
You could do it at home, honestly, if you wanted to. If you just wanted to go out and do it for a date night, you could do it. But it was fun, and so they had winners of that, and then they got a little game, I think. I don't remember who won, but
I know I don't either, but they had an insane amount of points. I don't know how they got all this.
Yeah, we were like
pictures.
8th from the bottom.
Yeah, it's fine.
There was 45 couples that participated. I think
we were 41.
Yeah. So it was pretty bad. But you are 7.5 months pregnant, and it was 170 million degrees in Nashville on Friday.
And outside down, it was a lot of walking. So.
Yeah, it was a lot of walking.
Took a break.
But we did that and went to dinner, and then we went out We went out later that night and just kind of hung out with some friends we met last year, Jamie and Lucy and the Fees and the Suttons. And
Josh and Julie.
Josh and Julie. And got to hang out with the Shellers a little bit, Craig and his wife. And so it was cool meeting them. And they all have super good, big companies. Whenever I'm with them, I just soak up whatever they say because they're way further along in business than I am. But they're all doing great things. Always fun getting to hang out with them while we're there, and I'm sure that'll be a thing to come. I mean, thing to continue in the future when we go with them is just to get to meet up and hang out. So went out that night. I'm a big people watcher, so I love people watching.
Oh, yeah, you were in heaven.
I don't partake in any of that activity, but I love people watching. So you get to go and see a lot of different people. I mean,
we went to one of the places that they teach like all the line dancing and stuff.
Yeah,
but you were in heaven up there. Yeah. I mean, sat up there and there were so many people because it was a Friday night in downtown Nashville, so it was pretty crowded. But
it was a
good time. We had fun.
My the part of me that's like always thinking of like where the next bomb is going to get dropped and like how to get out of a theater if a shooter comes in, that was really going off because the mob of people in that city is just a target waiting to happen. So
the sheer amount of people.
I just on. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands on a 6-block, 10-block.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't walk down the street without rubbing shoulders with everybody.
No, and it's so crowded they shut the streets down. That's what
you can't drive
on the weekends. They shut the streets down because it gets so crowded. So. That was Friday.
Yeah, enough about downtown Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know about Nashville, now you know a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
go for it.
If you're over the age of 25, it's probably not for you, but you never know.
Honestly.
Saturday morning, got up and...
Pretty early morning.
Yeah, it was early morning. Got up and got ready, went and ate breakfast at the hotel. We stayed at a super nice hotel right there in the middle of town.
Yeah.
It was...
Right across from the
Music City Center.
Yeah.
Yep, so right there in the heart of Nashville. And had a good breakfast, and then we went to the event, got checked in, and all that stuff. Everything goes along with that. And the speakers, so we had, 7 speakers maybe? 8
yeah,
speakers?
we tried to count, and I think it was like 7 or 8. I know at least 4 in the afternoon, and I think 4. So I think it was about 8.
Yeah.
Not including all the sponsors that were able to come and share.
Yeah, so we had, start off the day with Blake and Natalie, right? And Blake and Natalie Albertson, and it's fun. It's been fun getting to know them a little better here the last year and a half, and so
they're awesome.
Really fun people, and just have a great business going on. Blake has a great social media channel. They have twins. Just super fun people to be around. And I always try to elevate myself when I'm hanging out with people that are better at certain things than I am, and they certainly are in some aspects. So fun hanging out with them. They spoke about finances and marriage and business, and that's something that we hope to talk about here on Marriage Monday in the future. We're going to go into finances one day, and because everybody believes differently, but I think they did a really good job of talking about just the ins and the outs.
I think they did great at kind of talking about, separating your personal finances and your business finances, and kind of did a really good job at talking about what was important to them, not being pushy about this is what you have to do, but this is what we're pretty passionate about, and where they put their money and why that they have their money kind of saved and separated the way they do. So I think it was really, Brittany kind of put it a good way when we were talking about it after, was stuff that you kind of know but really need to be reminded of, like, that does make a lot of sense, but are you actually doing it? So it was a really good kind of refresher and reminder of what's a good way to be saving and categorizing your money.
Yeah, I mean, kind of one of their big things was like just have an emergency fund, and I think they follow some Dave Ramsey principles. And everybody to each his own, whether you want to follow him to a T or do your own version of that. But he teaches some good stuff, and they've implemented that. And I know a lot of people in that room had implemented that. When his name got brought up, a lot of people cheered, and so it was cool. Talk about finances, and then I don't remember who was next.
Oh gosh,
was Dan next?
Yes, the attorney.
Yeah, so Dan Barham with Barham and Mercer. I don't remember.
He joked
I don't remember
that
his
nobody knows
name.
how to say his partner's name.
Yeah, I don't remember his partner's name, but got to do a podcast with him actually on the Green Industry Podcast with Paul. So that should be dropping sometime soon. It was me, Dan, and Paul, and that was a really fun conversation. Dan's a super wise guy. He's very smart, and he's a lawyer. And he talked about estate planning, things like that, just how to set things up for your kids to take over if that's what you want, or things to do to where your spouse will inherit your business if you pass away for some reason, or just all the things that go along with that. Went into some great detail on certain things, answered a lot of good questions, and it was really, really fun having him there. And then after him, I think we did, I don't remember what the exact schedule was, but...
Oh, goodness, I know...
I don't know. Was Brian and Liz next? No, I don't think Brian and Liz were next.
No, it starts getting fuzzy.
I don't know. I think there was maybe another sponsor or something, or a
break.
Vermeer,
or,
maybe Vermeer was after them.
They did. He came up and
spoke. The sponsors were awesome this year. As Vermeer, Synced Up, and Toro all came in and sponsored the event, and that was really beneficial because they are giving their money and time back to the community by sending reps to this event, and it was something that, and especially Synced Up. Synced Up's a new startup, and they're really investing into the community now. And this road has got so bad. I'm sure you can hear this in the background. They were doing some major road work, and it shouldn't last very long. But
anyways, super thankful for them and being able to put on the event, and so that we could come.
Yeah, without them, ticket prices go through the roof, and that's the way it is with any live event. Anything you go to, really, is if you don't have sponsors, you don't have them paying some of the costs up front, then your tickets are going to be $500 a piece instead of $200 a piece. So super fun, and very, very thankful for them getting to come and hang out. And so Vermeer, I think, was next. They talked about their product. Vermeer's got some good stuff. Don't really apply to much of stuff I do, but I know a lot of people have Vermeer and love it and think it can really be beneficial for you and your company if you're doing hardscapes or ditches or anything like that. I don't know. But Vermeer was next. I think then Enneagram Ashton, right?
I think Synced Up was before.
Was it Synced Up?
I think.
So that's what it was. I think it was Blake and Natalie, Vermeer, Dan, Synced Up, Ashton.
Lunch.
Yes, that's right. And Ashton was really cool. I'll let you talk about that a little more because you know more about it.
So they brought in, her Instagram handle is Enneagram Ashton, but
very famous. Has like 600,000 followers.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of her, but they brought her in to really kind of dive into the Enneagram. And if you don't really know what that is, it's kind of a personality. The easiest way to say it is a personality test. It's a lot more than that, but they brought her in to kind of explain all of the types. There's 9 different types, and a lot of people took the test before she came so that they could kind of identify which one they were. But she came and really dove into all of them and kind of just like helped explain why kind of we think the way we think and feel the way we feel, and talked about how a lot of the things that we do are based off of our motivations, I think is kind of how she worded it, and kind of why we react the way we do, and so really was awesome to learn more about yourself in that way, but really the intent of it was to learn how to communicate more effectively with your spouse. So learning their Enneagram type and how to best communicate with them, and also kind of the why and the motivation behind their reasoning for things and the way they're reacting and communicating with you so that you can effectively respond and move forward. So I thought it was really good. And we did some exercises and stuff with her, and it was awesome.
Yeah, she did a good job. It was cool getting to bring in somebody like a professional like that who she does public speaking all the time, talking about the Enneagrams.
Well, she's a certified Enneagram
specialist
or specialist. Yeah, so she's very knowledgeable or educated on the Enneagram, and I love the Enneagram, so I thought it was awesome.
If you hadn't heard of the Enneagram, just Google it. I'm sure you can find a test to take, and
it
really does help when you know. Like, I don't study it, but I know enough about it to know that if you figure, it's crazy how real it is. Like, if you, like, Savannah is a 6 to a T. Like, there's nothing about it.
Anything that's a 6 is me. Yeah. Like, he would, she would pull up a slide that said 6 is when they are, I don't remember exactly what it was, but like communicating with the 6 or blah, 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 or their biggest fear or whatever. It was so odd because I was like, that is me to a T. And then you have people like Jeremiah that we felt like kind of identified more with several of them. So you need to retake the test, but it's kind of crazy how much it shows you about yourself and about your spouse.
And it can really help you in marriage and communicating. And that was one of the reasons of bringing her in, is educating you about the Enneagram, but then also taking it and turning it into a thing of how do I communicate once I figure out how the other person thinks.
Right. It wasn't really, it was awesome to learn more about me, but it was cooler to have her go in more in depth about you and your Enneagram so that I can better learn how to communicate effectively with you and understand your thought process and things. And that was the whole thing. So I think she was an awesome asset and addition to the group of speakers, because it was a different perspective into the whole marriage conference. So then we had lunch.
Then we had lunch, good lunch. The event place there put on a very good, just did really great with the whole day. They were it's pretty seamless, and everything went pretty smoothly. If anything was messed up, we didn't really know about it. So
when we had it was at the Music City Center. I don't even know if we said that, but yes. So they
Music City Center in downtown Nashville.
Yes, and then who?
Except you almost had a plate go down your back.
Oh yeah, I did.
Plate dropped.
I did. That was almost tragic, and that was right before we went on stage too. So
Yeah,
I would have
literally.
walked on stage with
food all over you.
food down my back.
Been
It's
like
fine.
Blake wearing a T-shirt all day because
Okay.
Blake spilled barbecue sauce or something on
Coffee.
his. Was it coffee? Yeah.
Because it was like first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he spilled coffee on his nice shirt for the day, and then wore a T-shirt all day long. So,
it's fine. You just roll with it.
yeah, but luckily nothing got on you from the plate. So
Yes, and then we just went up there for like, I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes, and just Caleb asked us a few questions about last year, and
yeah, we were honored to go up and just kind of
Oh, yeah.
answer a few things of things we learned from last year's event, because we were at the inaugural event last year in Waco, and some things that we took away from that and how we've implemented them into our company and marriage in the past year. And so we talked about that a little bit. I don't know. I honestly don't remember how long. I feel like we talked longer than we should have. Brittany was having to kick me off stage, but I think we were up there, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. But
Right,
it was
just a
good.
little
It was fun getting up there just to talk about the things that we've learned and some
Right.
things that and communication was one of the big things that we talked about. And
yeah,
I've already talked about that on this show, and it will come up again 100%. But we did that, and then proposal.
Oh yeah,
That was awesome. Y'all missed that if you
I
weren't there.
forget. Yeah,
Sam I Am, that's his name on Instagram. Sam I Am Lawn Services, I think it is. Him and his fiance Mary McGowan got
Yes.
engaged, so that was awesome. Brian did a really good job
that
of
was
leading
hysterical.
into that.
I know, like
He-
bringing him up there.
I bet he
and
never thought he
asking
was
him
going to do that in
questions.
his life.
I know. Well, he did a pretty good job,
Yeah,
like
he did
leading
good.
him into it. It
he
wasn't
was a
like
natural.
weird or suspicious or anything.
Yeah.
It was really good. So they got engaged, and then I think it was the newlywed game, right?
No, I think it was Brian and Liz after that.
Did they?
Or
The
could've
order
been
of
Brittany.
everything, I'm getting really
The
weird
afternoon
on.
is tough. You get through
Yeah.
lunch and your brain gets foggy. But
Yeah,
at some order in there was a marriage game. That was really funny.
that was the
You were in there for more than I
funniest
was.
part of the day. I'm not gonna lie. That was.
It was funny for the audience,
Cracking up,
not
yeah.
for the contestants.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so it's the typical, like, you take the wives out of the room, ask a husband a series of questions, bring the wives back in, and compare their answers in front of each other to see which
Who gets the
couple
most right.
got the most correct. And then vice versa, the wives left and the wives left and the husbands or wives stayed. But so that was really funny. And then I guess Brian and Liz. Is that
Yeah,
who's
Brian
in?
and Liz got up there and
I
talked.
feel like they were earlier in the day, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter.
They
But
were up there at
they were
some point
great.
during the day.
Yeah, they did awesome.
And they did good. They talked about just the real life struggles in marriage, and they're in this new stage of life, which we're about to be in.
Right.
Is having Emmy last year, and just now she's 8, 9 months old.
Her birthday's in August, so
Yeah, so 9 months old.
9 months old.
And just all the struggles that go along with it. I mean, I don't know a person who works harder than Brian does, and just all the struggles that go along with staying up late night with the baby in the beginning, and
Yeah.
feeding and helping Liz, and all the things that go into it. Putting these live events on, and everything. I mean, going to GIE, meeting with people, hanging out, like it's just part of work. It's part of what he does, and so they were really able to get up there and just discuss.
Yeah, I think their title was like Grit, Glue, and Grace. I
Yeah.
think talking about. I thought it was awesome, and just talking about all the things that will refine your marriage, and the importance of allowing them to, the grit, the things that refine you, and the glue that holds you together, but also the importance of giving grace, I think, and through those things with each other, and just the importance of allowing the tough things in life and in your marriage to do what they're kind of meant to do and refine you and come out stronger on the other side of it. So I thought it was really awesome, and like just really applaud them for being so open and I think honest about the last stage of life, as far as like
They did
just transparency about how it's not always like rainbows and butterflies, and just allowing things to kind of refine your marriage.
That's exactly right. So, like, we talked, what I said while I was up on stage, and Savannah kind of took off this and went another way. But I was talking about how Instagram, social media is all highlight reels for the most part. Not a lot of people show the down and the low spots. And that's exactly what Brian was saying, was like, you don't really get on social media and say, yeah, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight because me and Liz just had a huge fight. Like, that's not really happens. But everybody goes through those arguments and those disagreements in marriage, and it might not be sleeping on the couch. And Brian was joking, like he wasn't being serious. But it's just an example of you don't really see that stuff. And they did a really good job of opening up. And it's something that I think you need to just take and take to heart. I mean, you weren't. I hate it if you weren't there. If you were there, you should really think about their talk more and more and just kind of chew on it. But if you're not there, what I'll say about it before we move on is you need to go take those hard times. And me and Savannah are going to have to do this a lot because we're going to have a lot of hard times coming. Like, we talk about this all the time. We've been married for 2 years. We haven't had any serious, like, knockdown, drag-out fights. Like, we haven't had a reason to have anything yet, really. Yeah. We've had a pretty smooth marriage. Now, yeah, we have our ups and downs and arguments and argue about where we're going to eat and things like that. We just don't have as
much, like, life under our belt as some of the other still couples, young, which is why we're hanging out with them, because we're learning.
Exactly. We're learning from them. We have pretty good in-laws and parents on both sides that we each respect and enjoy, and so we haven't gone through that stuff. But when that stuff does happen, when we do go through those valleys and those tough times, we're going to have to take that. And it's just like when you're getting mad at, when you get mad at when something bad happens, when you blow a trailer tire or something in your business happens, whatever it is, you can't look at it and just let it ruin your day. Like, you have to look at it and try to find the positive out of it, because if you find the positive, it's going to turn out to be okay. But if you sit there and you just, like, let it ruin your day and get mad about it, getting mad about it isn't going to help. Well, so when y'all are in an argument, don't just sit there and let it keep festering. Like, try to figure out the positive and a way to get out of it to make it better.
When a little bit, like, tying that into Jeff Joyner, that's who it was, right? Yeah. He did a really good job, like, talking about things you can control versus things you can't control.
100%.
And the importance of A, acknowledging that, and B, like, refocusing, kind of zooming out, saying, okay, what do I have control over in this situation? What do I not have control over? And think about the things and figure out the things that you do have control over, which 9 times out of 10 sometimes is really just yourself. And so you handling yourself and your emotions and your attitude sometimes is all you can do in that situation. So you have the responsibility of taking control of your attitude and saying, the things around me, the things that are happening to us right now, sometimes you can control them, but sometimes you can't. And so not, like, harboring on that and focusing on that, but just focusing on what you can control and just trying to move forward. So I thought that was kind of a cool correlation between what they talked about.
Everybody kind of tied together. That was what we were talking about, is all the speakers really tied into what each other was saying, and it was just obvious that the Lord put in place what needed to be talked about to the group of people in the audience, because nobody talked about, like, nobody planned or prepped for what they were going to talk about with each other. They just all did their own individual thing.
Right.
And it all tied in some really way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So, super fun times and very, very educational. So, Brian and Liz was there, and then Caleb and Brittany were some point in the afternoon. I don't know.
I know. I feel bad. Everybody's fogging up times, but I remember everybody's talk. I just don't remember when it was.
About Caleb and Brittany's.
Caleb and Brittany's was really good. They were talking about they too are kind of like in not a weird spot, but the shop. They've got a lot going on, so they really talked a lot about that and not hiding things in the fog, I think, was like their big thing, and the importance of communication and getting things out in the open, and effectively communicating things and not harboring on them, and sweeping them under the rug. I think,
Just
what
talk
I
about
took away from theirs.
Yeah, and they all, like I said, they all tie together. Mm-hmm. They went into a lot more depth of the event, but you had to be there to hear it. So we're not going to sit there and break down everybody's speech. And
no, it was awesome.
If you missed it, you missed it. But Jeff Joyner came in, talked about having a common purpose in life, and kind of like having a mission statement for your life, essentially.
Well, it was like, don't give them the missing ingredient.
Yeah,
it was the missing ingredient in marriage, and I think there was a lot of truth to what he was talking about, and I think the important thing is that it gave us a lot to talk about. I think afterwards, you want to walk away from stuff like this with some thought-provoking questions, and I think that's all of their intention, to get the ball rolling on conversations within people's marriages to figure out what we can improve and figure out what we can change. And I think his talk really did that. I think gave us some things to really think about and questions to ask and like some good conversations that we can have together about finding our purpose and our common goals as a married couple.
Yeah, and Jeff is a professional speaker. Like, that's what he does for a living. Yeah. So he's very good at communicating. He's very good at breaking it down to a level that we can all understand, and just very, very good at what he does. Yeah. So his was very beneficial. And then
Brad and Tammy
closed out the day.
Yeah.
And Brad and Tammy Miller with Tandem Marriage.
Yeah.
They are some of the greatest people to walk the face of the earth, I feel like. Like, we don't even know them that well, but
I know.
We got to talk. Awesome. We got to talk with them in the lobby a few times, and just before the event and after, and hopefully get them on the show here soon. And actually want to do an interview with them, because what they are is marriage coaches and counselors, and they started the counseling business a while back. And like I said, hopefully we're going to get them on and we can hear their whole story and talk some more in depth with them. But they talked about really everything. They kind of like summed everything up.
I feel like they did an amazing job of like really honing in on a little bit about what everybody talked about as far as marriage.
Which is weird for them to be like the last one of the day. They didn't know anything about it.
They did great. And they 37 years, right, that they've been married, and so have a lot of like wisdom and insight on effectively communicating with your spouse, and so it's really great to hear from them. I feel like they were such an awesome way to close the day.
Yeah, they did really good. So that was it was a really fun event. We hung out last night. We just hung out at the hotel and sat by the hot tub and ate a good dinner and just really reminisced on everything that happened from the day before, the day prior, because the day of it was just. It was
a long day.
It was a long day.
It was good.
Very, very beneficial. If you missed it, like I said, sorry, but next year you need to come as soon as those tickets go on sale. You need to snatch them up, because I'm sure more and more people will be there. Yeah. There's going to be, what was crazy to me was the amount of new people that came this year that weren't there last year.
Which was really encouraging.
The overwhelming majority.
I was like very encouraged by that, because it was a lot of, I feel like, looking around the room, not that it really matters, but like young.
Yeah, a lot of young couples ready to learn and grow.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that we talked about that we learned from last year was kind of taking away the fact that we have only been married a couple years, and there are a lot of things that we don't know yet or that we haven't struggled with yet. But the things that I feel like Brian and Liz and Caleb and Brittany and Brad and Tim, all these couples that have been there, him kind of showed us is that as long as we're there and we are putting in the effort and we are intentional about our marriage, we're going to figure it out. You know, like we're going to go through things and we're going to struggle with things. We might not
figure it all out, but we're going to strive to.
We're going to be okay, kind of thing.
The way.
You know, like if we're intentional and we're putting in the effort and we want to, if we want to make this thing work, it will.
Yeah.
So
it just takes work, it takes effort, it takes time, investments, and things like that. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, we just wanted to do a little recap of Together in the Trades here, and hopefully we're going to have some guest interviews coming up here for the next little stretch of shows on Mondays, and we're going to see if we can get this ball rolling, try to get some new listeners in here and really grow this program. If you have listened so far on the Marriage Mondays and you enjoy them, would you leave us those ratings and reviews, because they really do help and get us out there to a bigger community, so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time, and just really, really makes a difference and helps us out along the way. So one thing that I do kind of want us to do is, I don't know how long this will last, but this just came to me literally like 30 seconds ago.
Oh gosh!
I want to start doing a action step maybe at the end of every show for the week. Like take one thing away from the show. Or maybe not from the show, but just take one. I want to have an action step, and you take it and you implement it that week in your marriage. And if we do this for 52 weeks in a year, then you have 52 action steps. And I think it could create a lot of fun things in marriage. And so this one, I would think, would come from something we heard from having a conversation with Brad and Tammy is ask your wife a thought-provoking question this week, and do it, or a spouse, a husband or wife. Ask thought-provoking questions. If you're having trouble communicating, and you're just sitting there in silence a lot, you're having shallow conversations. When you do talk with each other, ask thought-provoking questions.
Yeah.
Because that's what me and Brad talked about for a while, and that just really makes a difference. And it makes your spouse feel like you want to talk to them.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to listen because it's something that you actually put effort into asking the question. It wasn't just like, oh, how's your day, or something like that. So
right.
Ask a thought-provoking question to your spouse this week and see if you can spark some good conversation that way. But without any further ado, that's going to wrap this show up, this Marriage Monday episode 4, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here next week on another Marriage Monday episode. See y'all.